Imagine a life where no storm, no insult, no challenge can disturb your peace. A mind that remains calm, no matter the chaos around it. How powerful would that be? As Buddha wisely said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Today, we'll explore 10 powerful Buddhist principles that will help you cultivate an unshakable inner peace in a world where stress, anxiety, and the opinions of others often control us. These teachings offer a path to emotional resilience. Imagine breaking free from the constant need for external validation and embracing serenity from within. Can these ancient principles really protect you from life's ups and downs? Stay with me till the end. One lesson here could change your entire life. Let's begin this journey to emotional freedom. Insult and offense. When someone insults you, it stings. You feel it deep, and for a moment it shakes the core of who you believe yourself to be. But what if I told you that insults and negative comments only hold the power you give them? In the teachings of Buddhism, detachment from external judgments is the path to true liberation. Lord Buddha said, "Like a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, the wise are not shaken by praise or blame." Insults, at their core, are mirrors of the emotional turbulence within the one delivering them. They do not define you, nor do they diminish your self-worth. The truth is, the insult itself carries no weight unless you allow it to penetrate your mind. When you practice detachment, you begin to see insults for what they truly are. Someone else's unresolved suffering projected outward. You're not responsible for carrying the burden of their pain. Boldly, I remind you, don't let insults destabilize your inner peace. They are a reflection of the other person, not of you. Detach, look past the words, and understand the deeper cause of their behavior. You are the keeper of your peace, and no external force should have the power to disrupt that. Picture yourself immune to this pain. Imagine how empowering it is when nothing, not words, not anger, can shake the calmness within. Now, let your mind wander. What would life be like if you could extend this mastery beyond insults to any external influence? If even the most turbulent storms of emotion couldn't affect your inner stillness? Be strict with yourself, but tolerant of others. We often fall into the trap of holding others to a higher standard than we hold ourselves. We are quick to judge, quick to criticize, and yet we neglect the true work, our own inner growth. Buddhism teaches us a deeper truth. Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. In this, there is a profound lesson. It is easy to judge others, but true mastery comes from turning that sharpness inward and using it to refine your own mind. Be strict with yourself, but extend tolerance to others. Self-discipline is the foundation of a calm and unshakable mind. It is through self-discipline that we silence the chaos within, allowing clarity and peace to emerge. But remember this, while you are strict with yourself, it is compassion and tolerance that make life harmonious. Others are walking their own paths, facing struggles you may not understand. They, like you, are imperfect. But it's how you respond to their imperfections that defines your character. Boldly hold yourself to high standards, but when it comes to others, give them the grace to grow. Cultivate self-discipline while extending patience and tolerance to others. Their mistakes do not define them, but your response to those mistakes defines you. Can you be the calm in their storm? Can you show kindness even when they falter? Imagine mastering your reactions so deeply that no one, not even those who provoke you, can disturb your peace. How freeing would it be to remain emotionally untouchable? No one can hurt you. When someone's words sting or their actions seem designed to wound you, the natural reaction is to feel hurt. But what if I told you that their words, their actions, none of it can truly hurt you unless you allow it? Buddhism teaches that you are not responsible for others' actions, only your reactions. This simple truth carries profound power. The pain you feel doesn't come from outside. It arises from within, from your own mind's response. In life, we give too much power to others. We let their behavior control how we feel, as if our emotional well-being were a puppet pulled by the strings of external forces. But this is an illusion. You alone have control over your emotional responses. No one can hurt you without your consent. Imagine a mind so deeply rooted in peace, so well mastered, that no one's negativity could disturb its stillness. This is not a fantasy. It is the fruit of practicing mindful awareness. The Buddha taught that when we master our minds, we no longer become victims of others' actions. We begin to see that their actions are merely the ripples of their own suffering. They are acting from their own inner turmoil, not from a place of true power over us. You must remember, you have a choice. When someone tries to wound you, observe your reaction. Don't suppress the emotion, but watch it arise like a wave and let it pass. Mindfully observe your reactions and practice emotional detachment. Over time, you'll find that nothing external can sway your inner peace. What if every difficult person was not an enemy, but a teacher? Each painful interaction, a lesson in self-mastery. Imagine how untouchable you'd become, emotionally invincible. There's more to uncover on this path of inner resilience. Transform everyone into a teacher. The people who challenge you, frustrate you, even hurt you, these are not obstacles, they are teachers. We often see difficult people as barriers to our peace, but in truth, they offer us a profound opportunity for growth. Buddhism invites you to shift your perspective. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few. This quote reminds us that with an open, curious mind, every person we encounter can offer lessons we have yet to learn. When someone tests your patience, it is an invitation to strengthen it. When someone criticizes you unjustly, it is an opportunity to cultivate compassion and wisdom. Every interaction, even negative ones, can help you develop the qualities of patience, wisdom, and compassion. These people are not enemies, they're guides on your path to mastery. Imagine if, instead of resisting these moments of difficulty, you embrace them. Instead of frustration, you found curiosity. Everyone in your life can teach you valuable lessons. Embrace the opportunity for growth. What can you learn from this person who challenges you? Perhaps they show you where your mind is still attached, where your ego still clings. Perhaps they reveal areas where you have more work to do, or perhaps they simply teach you patience in the face of adversity. Approach each situation and person with curiosity. Ask yourself, what can this experience teach me? In doing so, you transform the difficulties of life into stepping stones toward greater wisdom and peace. Now imagine, instead of feeling envy or resentment towards others, you could turn that feeling into admiration and motivation. What if every challenge you faced became a spark that ignites your potential? There's a profound shift waiting to unfold in your mind. Transform envy into emulation. Envy is a shadow that creeps into the heart, leaving behind bitterness, frustration, and self-doubt. It whispers that others are more successful, more capable, more worthy, and it stings, doesn't it? But what if envy, instead of being a source of suffering, could be transformed into something powerful? Buddhism teaches that we do not need to be consumed by envy. Instead, we can use it as fuel for our own growth. Comparison is the thief of joy. Yet there is a way to rise above this. When we look at someone else's success and feel envy, what we are truly recognizing is a reflection of qualities we admire, but have not yet developed within ourselves. This is where the transformation happens. Use the success of others as a model to push yourself forward rather than letting it pull you down. Their achievements do not diminish yours. In fact, their path is a map showing you what is possible. Imagine this. Instead of being consumed by the resentment that envy brings, you harness that energy and use it to propel yourself forward. Rather than allowing another's success to make you feel small, you let it expand your vision of what you too can achieve. Use envy as a tool for growth, not a source of bitterness. Turn it into motivation to better yourself. Every time envy arises, see it as a guidepost, a signal pointing you toward what you truly want. The next time you feel envy stirring within you, pause, reflect on what it is you admire in that person. Is it their discipline, their creativity, their strength? Ask yourself, how can I emulate these qualities in my own life? Let their success become your inspiration, not your downfall. There is no competition on this path, only growth, only progress. Envy can be a trap that locks you into bitterness, or it can be the spark that ignites your journey towards becoming a greater version of yourself. The choice is yours. But there's something even deeper: acceptance. When you learn to accept both yourself and others as they are, you unlock a level of peace that envy can never touch. Let's explore how acceptance becomes the key to unlocking a life of unshakable inner calm. The power of acceptance. Life is full of challenges, moments where things don't go as planned, where pain arises, and we feel resistance welling up inside. We push back, we fight reality, hoping to bend it to our will. But in that resistance, there is suffering. The harder you push against life, the more life pushes back. Buddhism teaches us a path beyond that struggle. Peace comes from within, do not seek it without. To accept life's difficulties is not to surrender or give up, it's to allow life to unfold as it is without the burden of resistance. When you accept the present moment, you stop feeding the suffering that comes from wishing things were different. Accept reality as it is, not as you wish it to be, and you will reduce suffering. It is in this surrender to the moment that true peace and clarity are found. Imagine you're standing in the midst of a storm. You can fight the wind, you can curse the rain, but your resistance only amplifies your suffering. Instead, picture yourself standing still, accepting the storm for what it is, temporary, passing. The storm doesn't disappear, but your struggle with it does, and this is the power of acceptance. Embrace acceptance. Resistance only creates suffering. When you stop resisting life's natural flow, you allow yourself to move with it, to glide through challenges with grace instead of battling against them. How do we cultivate this acceptance? Through mindfulness. By becoming fully present in each moment, observing it without judgment, we train ourselves to accept reality as it is. You begin to see the beauty in even the difficult moments. This practice doesn't mean we become passive. On the contrary, it empowers us to respond with clarity and wisdom because we are no longer clouded by resistance or frustration. Start small. The next time you encounter a challenge, pause, breathe, let go of the need to change it, accept it as it is, and observe how your mind quiets, how peace begins to settle in. The storm outside may continue, but the storm within has passed. Now imagine what could happen if, beyond accepting life's challenges, you lived ethically, aligning your actions with a deeper truth. Could this inner harmony become your shield against the external chaos? Let's delve into the strength that ethical living can bring. Focus on ethical living. When your actions are out of alignment with your deepest values, a quiet war rages inside. That inner conflict, that subtle discomfort, is the sign of a mind unsettled by its own choices. Yet when you live in harmony with ethical principles, You build a fortress of peace that external turmoil cannot breach. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. By focusing on the here and now, grounded in kindness, honesty, and compassion, you anchor yourself in integrity. Buddhism teaches that ethical living is the path to reducing suffering. It isn't about rigid rules or dogma. It's about acting in a way that aligns with your higher self. Ethical living creates inner harmony, reducing the sway of external negativity. When your actions reflect your deepest truths, the storms of life may rage, but they won't touch the peace within. Kindness toward others dissolves resentment, honesty fosters trust, and simplicity softens the harshness of life's difficulties for both yourself and those around you. Live ethically to foster inner peace and reduce external conflict. In doing so, you stop being swayed by the noise of the outside world. When you live truthfully and kindly, the criticism of others loses its sting. The chaos around you cannot unsettle you because you are rooted in the calm center of your integrity. How do you apply this? Start with the small choices. In each moment, ask yourself, am I acting with compassion? Am I speaking with honesty? Am I moving through this world with kindness? These actions may seem subtle, but over time they become the foundation of an unshakable mind. When you align your daily actions with your values, you create a stability that the world's chaos cannot shake. The more you live with integrity, the less you are impacted by external forces. Peace becomes your constant companion because it is not dictated by circumstance, but by the choices you make every day. Now, what if you extended this harmony beyond yourself and learned to live in alignment with nature itself? There's a profound peace in accepting the cycles of change. Let's explore why living in harmony with nature makes you unbreakable. Living according to nature. We live in a world where the desire to control every outcome dominates our minds. We cling tightly to our expectations, to our plans, and when life veers off course, we suffer. Yet Buddhism teaches that the root of this suffering is not in life's unpredictability, but in our attachment to how we think things should be. The root of suffering is attachment. We attach ourselves to outcomes, to people, to ideas of permanence in an impermanent world. But life is ever-changing, and this resistance to its natural flow only deepens our pain. When you learn to live according to nature, you begin to flow with life instead of against it. Flow with the natural course of life and embrace impermanence. Life's beauty lies in its transient nature, in the fact that nothing stays the same. Seasons change, people grow, circumstances shift, and when you align with this truth, a profound peace begins to settle in. You stop grasping at what was or what should be and start embracing what is. Buddhism reminds us that by understanding the impermanence of life, we can let go of attachment. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the need for control and in doing so, reducing suffering. Imagine standing in a river, fighting the current, trying to swim upstream. The more you struggle, the more you exhaust yourself. But when you let go and move with the current, you find ease. Life is like this river. Flow with it, and peace will follow. To live in harmony with nature, observe the cycles of life. Change is natural and inevitable. Nothing stays the same, and this is not something to fear, but to accept with grace. Watch how the seasons change, how the day turns to night, and understand that this same rhythm exists in your life. When you practice letting go of rigid expectations, you free yourself from the chains of attachment. Life becomes lighter and peace more accessible. Acceptance of impermanence doesn't lead to passivity. It empowers you to live fully in the present moment. Knowing that everything is temporary, you stop clinging, and in doing so, you create space for true joy and resilience. But there's another practice that can deepen this resilience: gratitude. What if, instead of resisting change, you learn to be grateful for every moment, every lesson, every challenge? Gratitude has the power to transform your perception and strengthen your inner peace. Let's explore how it can bring even more resilience into your life. Practice gratitude. So often, we become trapped in the endless cycle of wanting. We focus on what we don't have, what we lack, and this constant hunger creates a sense of dissatisfaction, a gnawing unrest within our souls. We look at others and see only what we're missing, and in doing so, we blind ourselves to the abundance already present in our lives. But there is a way to break free from this cycle, a way to cultivate a deep sense of inner peace. That way is gratitude. Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. Gratitude is a powerful practice in Buddhism. It shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from what is missing to what is present. When you stop to acknowledge what you have, whether it is great or small, you begin to realize that the source of contentment lies not in acquiring more, but in appreciating what already exists. By appreciating what you have, you cultivate contentment and peace. In each moment, there is something to be thankful for. It could be the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of a loved one's voice, or even the lessons learned from a difficult experience. When you embrace gratitude, you stop taking these things for granted. You see the richness of life as it is, not as you wish it to be. And in that recognition, you build resilience. Gratitude builds emotional resilience. Focus on abundance, not scarcity. The practice of gratitude doesn't require grand gestures or material wealth. It can be as simple as taking a moment each day to reflect on what you are thankful for. A warm meal, a kind word, the breath in your lungs. When you shift your focus to these moments, you begin to train your mind to see the beauty in everyday life. The more you practice, the stronger your sense of inner peace becomes. This is how gratitude transforms you. It teaches you to see the world through a lens of abundance, even when circumstances are difficult. Instead of focusing on what you lack, you become attuned to what you already possess, and in doing so, you fortify yourself against the trials of life. The noise of dissatisfaction fades, and in its place, a quiet contentment grows. This is emotional resilience, an inner strength that no external force can shake. To cultivate this resilience, start a daily gratitude practice. Each morning or evening, reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. They don't need to be monumental. They can be as simple as the air you breathe or the bed you sleep in. Over time, this practice will shift your focus from lack to abundance, from discontent to peace. But even beyond gratitude, there is one final principle to explore: letting go of control. When you release your grip on life, when you stop trying to force outcomes and learn to trust the flow of existence, you unlock a deeper level of inner calm. Let's conclude by exploring this powerful principle of surrender. Trust the process and let go of control. You still stand in the midst of life, feeling every shift, every turn. There's a sense of grasping, always trying to mold circumstances to shape outcomes to your will. But have you noticed the weight this control brings? It is exhausting, suffocating. The truth is, control is an illusion. The more you hold on, the more life slips through your fingers. To live unaffected, you must learn to let go and trust the process. Buddha once said, "You only lose what you cling to." In the endless pursuit of controlling outcomes, you find only suffering. The constant need to manipulate every situation plants seeds of anxiety. Imagine a river. It flows naturally without effort, but if you try to redirect every current, you create turbulence. The same applies to life. When you surrender to its natural flow, you make room for peace. Let go of the need to control and trust that life will unfold as it's meant to. In this chaotic world, silence is your strength. Too often, we let the noise around us dictate our inner world. A single harsh word, a disappointing failure, the judgment of others. These echo in our minds, shaping how we feel, how we act. But remember, true power lies in detachment. When you free yourself from the need to react, you create a fortress around your mind. Buddha taught that the mind, like water, must remain calm to reflect truth clearly. Do not let external disturbances ripple through your peace. Instead, observe without judgment and let them pass like clouds in the sky. Silence isn't passive, it is powerful. It is the shield that protects your inner world from the chaos of the outer one. In moments of anger or frustration, embrace silence and watch as the storm within you subsides. Practice this daily, and you will find that nothing, no criticism, no failure, can touch the calm center of your being. Attachment is the root of all suffering. This ancient truth, spoken by the Buddha, is the foundation of emotional resilience. We cling to people, to possessions, to ideas of how things should be. And when these things inevitably change or slip away, we feel pain. But this pain is born not from the loss itself, but from our refusal to accept impermanence. In life, everything changes, nothing stays the same. To find true freedom, you must learn to live without attachment. Buddha said, the root of suffering is attachment. Let this truth guide you. When you detach, you allow yourself to flow with the currents of life, untouched by the inevitable changes that come. Let go and watch as the weight of life lifts from your shoulders. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Life will bring hardship, loss, and difficulty. That is the nature of existence. But how you respond to this pain defines your experience. Buddha taught that suffering arises from our resistance to pain, our refusal to accept it. But what if, instead of resisting, you welcome pain as a teacher? The next time life brings hardship, do not shrink from it. Instead, meet it with open arms. Understand that pain, in its purest form, is temporary. It is your resistance that prolongs it. When you embrace the discomfort, you strip it of its power. Like a wave, it will crash, and then it will pass. Practice this, and you will find that nothing, not even pain, can disturb your inner peace. Lastly, trust the process and let go of control. In moments of uncertainty, when the path ahead seems unclear, the natural instinct is to grasp tighter, but this only breeds anxiety. Buddha's wisdom reminds us that everything that has a beginning has an end. The cycles of life are beyond your control. They will unfold whether you try to stop them or not. Let go of control, and peace will follow. This doesn't mean abandoning effort or responsibility. It means releasing the need to micromanage every outcome. Trust that the universe is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust that every setback is a stepping stone, every loss a lesson. When you surrender to this truth, you liberate yourself from fear and worry. In this surrender, you will find the calm you have been seeking. If you found value in these teachings, remember to like and share this video and subscribe to Life Lessons for more inspiring Buddhist insights on living a peaceful life.
Have you ever felt like your pain prevents you from reaching your full potential? Do you think your struggles could actually become a source of strength? Are you ready to learn how Buddhism can help transform your pain into a pathway to enlightenment? In this video, we'll explore how to turn pain into power through Buddhist teachings. We all face pain and suffering in our lives, whether from the loss of a loved one, enduring a breakup, or simply coping with daily stress. These experiences can feel like a thorn's prick, sharp and immediate, with lingering discomfort. But what if these moments of pain could lead to substantial personal growth? In Buddhism, pain is more than something to endure. It's a catalyst for transformation. Imagine life's challenges as a roller coaster's highs and lows. Like a caterpillar metamorphosing into a butterfly, our struggles can lead to profound growth and enlightenment. Throughout this video, we'll simplify complex Buddhist concepts into practical insights that you can apply in everyday life. By approaching pain with mindfulness and compassion, we start to view it not as a barrier, but as a bridge to resilience and inner strength. We'll cover the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism, offering a framework for understanding and overcoming suffering. We'll also discuss impermanence, which teaches us to release attachments and embrace the present. Mindfulness will be spotlighted as a crucial tool for present awareness and conscious decision-making, helping us transform pain. Additionally, cultivating compassion and loving-kindness will be shown as vital for personal growth and empathizing with others' pain. By the end of this video, you'll see how pain can be a powerful tool for mindful and compassionate living, leading to liberation and inner peace. Stay with us to discover these transformative insights. Lesson 1. Understanding pain and suffering. Pain touches everyone's life. Imagine the profound sadness of losing someone you love, like a weight on your heart, making it difficult to see beyond the grief. This universal experience, sharp and sudden, leaves a lasting impact. Yet in Buddhism, pain is not just an adversary. It's a teacher that guides us toward understanding and growth. Consider the minor pains of disappointment when expectations are unmet. These moments reveal our deep attachments and desires. Gautama Buddha's teachings highlight suffering as an intrinsic part of life. By recognizing this, we begin the journey of transformation. Life's inherent ups and downs are like a roller coaster. Both the highs and lows are essential. Accepting this helps us manage life's challenges with more grace. When we embrace pain as a natural aspect of existence, it becomes a source of growth, not fear. Reflect on the caterpillar's transformation into a butterfly, a challenging yet necessary change. Similarly, our struggles can fuel profound personal transformation, making us stronger and more resilient in our daily lives. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by pain and suffering. However, Buddhism provides a method to understand and manage these challenges. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to remain present with our pain without being consumed by it. Mindfulness enables us to observe our thoughts and feelings impartially, creating a space to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. This practice can fundamentally change our relationship with pain, transforming it into a source of strength and wisdom. Understanding pain and suffering is the first step toward overcoming them. By acknowledging pain as a universal experience, recognizing it as part of life's natural fluctuations, and seeing it as an opportunity for growth, we begin to approach it with a mindful and compassionate heart. This attitude not only alleviates our own suffering, but also deepens our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Lesson 2. The nature of suffering and attachment. Suffering often arises from our attachments to people, possessions, and outcomes. For example, consider the deep hurt felt during a breakup. The sense of loss can seem unbearable. This pain primarily stems from our attachment to the relationship and the future we envision together. In Buddhism, such attachments are seen as fundamental causes of suffering. We cling to what we desire, fearing loss, but this clinging inevitably leads to pain when reality does not align with our expectations. Life is like a roller coaster, full of highs and lows. At the peaks, everything feels wonderful, but the troughs can bring significant distress. Buddha taught that our desires to maintain the highs and avoid the lows significantly fuel our suffering. Understanding this dynamic helps us begin to let go of our attachments and embrace a more peaceful existence. Consider someone devastated by a breakup. Their suffering is not just from losing the relationship, but also from their attachment to an idealized future with that person. This attachment creates an illusion of permanence, intensifying the pain when that future does not materialize. Gautama Buddha's second noble truth explains that attachment is indeed the root of suffering. By recognizing this, we can start to tackle the underlying causes of our distress. Imagine life as a flowing river, constantly changing. Attempting to grasp something in this river is as futile as trying to stop the water's flow. The concept of impermanence in Buddhism teaches us that everything is in constant flux, and clinging to anything only heightens our suffering. By embracing impermanence, we can start to release our attachments and find peace in the present moment. Mindfulness plays a pivotal role in understanding and managing our attachments. Through mindfulness practice, we become acutely aware of our thoughts and feelings. We recognize when we are clinging too tightly to something and can gently remind ourselves to let go. This isn't about becoming detached, but about caring deeply without clinging, appreciating the present instead of fearing future loss. In our daily lives, we often feel overwhelmed by pain and suffering because of our attachments. Buddhism provides a roadmap to understand and navigate these feelings by mindfulness. We learn to remain present with our pain without being overwhelmed by it. Mindfulness allows us to observe our thoughts and feelings without judgment, giving us the space to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. In summary, suffering often arises from our attachments. By understanding the nature of life's fluctuations, recognizing attachment as a cause of suffering, accepting impermanence, and practicing mindfulness, we can begin to let go of our clinging. This approach not only reduces suffering, but also fosters a more peaceful and content existence in the present moment. Lesson 3. Transforming pain through mindfulness. Feeling overwhelmed by stress and anxiety is common in our fast-paced world. Imagine someone trying to balance work, family, and personal time. The constant pressure can make them feel like they're drowning in responsibilities. This kind of pain and stress can seem insurmountable, but Buddhism offers a powerful tool for relief: mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment, attentively observing our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we learn to observe our pain rather than being consumed by it. This shift in perspective can be transformative. Instead of viewing pain as an adversary, we begin to see it as a part of our life experience, a teacher from which we can learn. Consider how diamonds are formed under extreme pressure and intense heat. A simple piece of carbon is transformed into a stunning, valuable gem. Similarly, our pain can serve as this pressure, molding us into stronger, more resilient individuals through mindfulness practice. We give ourselves the space to stay present with our pain, allowing it to teach us and aid in our growth. Imagine someone overwhelmed by their busy life, deciding to dedicate a few moments each day to mindfulness practice. In a quiet spot, they close their eyes and focus on their breathing. Initially, their mind races with worries and to-do lists, but gradually they begin to observe their thoughts and feelings without becoming entangled in them. They start to experience a sense of calm and clarity, even amidst chaos. Gautama Buddha taught that mindfulness is a path to liberation. By being present, we can break free from the cycle of suffering caused by our attachments and desires. Mindfulness creates a space between our thoughts and reactions, empowering us to choose how we respond to pain rather than reacting impulsively or out of habit. This mindful approach can transform our relationship with pain, turning it into a source of strength and wisdom. Moreover, mindfulness helps us develop compassion for ourselves and others. When we are present with our pain, we understand it more clearly and can empathize more deeply with the suffering of others. By practicing mindfulness, we not only transform our own pain, but also cultivate a profound connection with the world around us. In our daily lives, amidst the whirlwind of activities and stress, taking a few moments each day for mindfulness practice can revolutionize our relationship with pain. We learn to stay present with our feelings, observe them without judgment, and respond with compassion and wisdom. This practice enables us to harness pain as a powerful tool for personal growth and inner peace. To summarize, transforming pain through mindfulness involves being fully present, viewing pain as an opportunity for growth, creating space between thoughts and reactions, and developing compassion for ourselves and others. By embracing mindfulness, we can turn pain into a source of strength and wisdom, leading to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Lesson 4. Embracing change and impermanence. Change is a constant part of life, yet it can be challenging to accept. Imagine losing your job. Fear and uncertainty may feel overwhelming, shaking our sense of stability and causing stress and anxiety. Buddhism teaches us that change is not only natural but also essential. Embracing change and understanding impermanence can help us find peace even in the face of uncertainty. Think of life as a flowing river. Its waters are always moving, changing shape and course. Trying to hold on to a specific moment in this river is like trying to grasp water in your hands. It slips through your fingers. This concept of impermanence in Buddhism emphasizes that everything is always changing, and nothing remains the same forever. By accepting this truth, we can learn to let go of our attachments and find peace in the present moment. Consider the metaphor of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. The caterpillar must undergo struggle and change to become a butterfly. This process, though challenging, is necessary for transformation. Similarly, change in our lives, even when difficult, can lead to growth and new beginnings. When we embrace change, we open ourselves to new possibilities and opportunities. Imagine someone who loses their job. Initially, they may feel fearful and unsure about the future. However, by embracing change as an opportunity, this shift in perspective might lead them to discover a new career path that they are passionate about, potentially bringing greater fulfillment and happiness than they had previously imagined. Embracing change allows us to move forward and grow rather than remaining stuck. In fear and resistance, mindfulness can assist us in navigating change more gracefully. Through mindfulness practice, we become more aware of our thoughts and feelings. We learn to observe our reactions to change without becoming overwhelmed, enabling us to respond with clarity and calmness instead of fearing change. Mindfulness encourages us to approach it with curiosity and openness. It teaches us to appreciate the present moment, focusing on what we have now rather than worrying about what might come. In our daily lives, change is inevitable. By understanding and embracing the impermanence of all things, we can find peace and stability within ourselves. We learn to let go of attachments and expectations, creating space for new experiences and personal growth. This approach not only equips us to deal with change effectively, but also fosters a more fulfilling and meaningful life. To sum up, embracing change and impermanence involves recognizing life's constant flux, viewing change as an opportunity for growth, using mindfulness to navigate transitions, and letting go of attachments. By accepting life's impermanence, we can cultivate inner peace and stability, leading to a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. Lesson 5. Developing compassion and empathy. Developing compassion and empathy is essential for personal growth and fostering strong connections with others. Imagine holding a grudge against a friend who has wronged you. The resentment feels like a heavy burden impacting your happiness and peace of mind. Buddhism teaches that by practicing compassion and empathy, we can lighten this burden and find a path to healing and understanding. Pain is a shared human experience. Everyone goes through suffering at some point. When we recognize this universal truth, we can connect with others on a deeper level. Instead of solely focusing on our own pain, we begin to see and understand the struggles of others. This shift in perspective helps us develop compassion. By acknowledging and empathizing with others' pain, we open our hearts and feel more connected to the world around us. Consider a person feeling anger toward a friend who betrayed them. Through practicing compassion, they come to understand that their friend may have acted out of their own pain and confusion. This understanding doesn't excuse hurtful behavior, but fosters empathy and promotes healing. Gautama Buddha's teaching of metta, or loving kindness, encourages us to extend love and kindness not only to others, but also to ourselves. By practicing loving kindness, we can heal and transform our relationships. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in developing compassion and empathy, allowing us to be more present and attentive to the feelings of others and ourselves, enhancing our ability to connect and empathize. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of our own feelings and the feelings of others. We learn to observe these emotions without judgment, creating space for empathy to grow. Mindfulness helps us respond to others with kindness and understanding, rather than reacting impulsively out of anger or hurt. This mindful approach fosters deeper connections and more harmonious relationships. Imagine someone who regularly practices mindfulness and loving-kindness meditation. They focus on sending positive thoughts and feelings to others. Over time, they notice a significant change in their interactions. They become more patient, understanding, and compassionate. This practice not only enhances their relationships, but also brings a sense of peace and fulfillment to their own lives. In our daily lives, we encounter many situations where developing compassion and empathy can make a significant difference. By understanding that everyone experiences pain, practicing mindfulness to stay present with our feelings, and extending loving kindness to ourselves and others, we can transform our interactions and build deeper, more meaningful connections. This approach not only helps us heal from our own pain, but also contributes to creating a more compassionate and empathetic world. To summarize, developing compassion and empathy involves recognizing the shared human experience of pain, understanding others' struggles, practicing loving kindness, using mindfulness to stay present with our feelings, and responding with kindness and understanding. By embracing these practices, we can heal our relationships, connect more deeply with others, and find greater peace and fulfillment in our own lives. Lesson 7. Finding inner peace through meditation. Finding inner peace through meditation is something many of us seek, especially in our hectic lives. Meditation serves as a powerful tool to help us achieve that peace. Imagine someone who feels constantly stressed and anxious, their mind overwhelmed with worries. Meditation can provide a pathway to calm the mind and discover tranquility. Meditation involves focusing the mind and being fully present in the moment. It can be as simple as sitting quietly and paying attention to your breath. Through meditation, you allow your mind to settle and become still. This stillness enables you to connect with a deeper sense of peace that always resides within you, even amidst life's chaos. Consider starting your day with a few minutes of meditation. Find a quiet spot, sit comfortably, and focus on your breathing. Initially, your mind may be busy with thoughts about the day ahead, but as you continue to focus on your breath, you begin to feel more calm and centered. This daily practice helps you approach your day with a clearer and more peaceful mind. Gautama Buddha taught that meditation is a path to enlightenment. It helps us perceive things as they truly are, free from the distractions of our thoughts and emotions. Through meditation, we learn to observe our thoughts without becoming entangled in them, gaining insight into the nature of our mind and the patterns that contribute to our stress and suffering. Mindfulness meditation, in particular, emphasizes being present in the moment, paying attention to what is happening right now without judgment. For instance, during meditation, you might notice if a thought arises. During meditation, you simply notice it and let it go, returning your focus to your breath. This practice cultivates a habit of presence, fostering peace and clarity in your everyday life. Another significant aspect of meditation is the development of compassion. During meditation, you can practice loving kindness by sending positive thoughts and wishes to yourself and others. For example, silently repeating phrases like, "May I be happy," or "May others be happy," fosters a sense of connection and empathy. In our daily lives, finding time to meditate may seem challenging, but even a few minutes a day can make a significant difference. By integrating meditation into our routine, we cultivate inner peace and bring more calm and clarity into our lives. Meditation helps us remain grounded and centered regardless of the challenges we face. Finding inner peace through meditation involves focusing the mind, being present in the moment, observing our thoughts, developing compassion, and making meditation a regular practice. By embracing these practices, we can connect with a deeper sense of peace and invite more tranquility into our lives. Lesson 8. The power of resilience and perseverance. Resilience and perseverance are crucial qualities that enable us to navigate the highs and lows of life effectively. Imagine an entrepreneur facing repeated business failures. Each setback feels like a heavy blow, yet they choose to persist rather than give up. This determination to confront challenges and continue moving forward embodies resilience. Resilience can be likened to a muscle that strengthens with each difficulty overcome. Each time we face adversity and push through it, our resilience grows. Consider the bamboo tree, which bends but does not break in strong winds. This flexibility and strength symbolize resilience, allowing us to manage life's challenges more effectively by remaining adaptable under pressure. Perseverance is closely intertwined with resilience. It's the ability to persist despite difficulties. Think of Thomas Edison, who experienced thousands of failures before successfully inventing the light bulb. His perseverance illustrates that success often follows many setbacks. Through perseverance, we learn from mistakes and become stronger individuals. Gautama Buddha taught that life entails suffering and challenges, but through cultivating resilience and perseverance, we can overcome these obstacles. Meditation serves as a potent tool in this process. By meditating, we learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without being overwhelmed, thereby building mental strength and clarity, essential components of resilience. Imagine someone who practices regular meditation. They sit quietly, focus on their breathing, and allow thoughts to come and go without judgment. Over time, this practice cultivates a calm and focused mind. When confronted with difficulties, they can maintain composure and think clearly, enabling them to find solutions and persist through tough times. Maintaining a positive mindset is another critical aspect of resilience. When we approach challenges with optimism, we are more likely to perceive opportunities rather than obstacles, fueling motivation and fortifying resilience. Lesson 9. Living a life of purpose and meaning. Living a life of purpose and meaning is a universal aspiration, yet many struggle to find direction and fulfillment. Imagine someone who wakes up each day feeling lost and unfulfilled, unsure of their life's direction. This sense of aimlessness can be distressing, but Buddhism offers profound guidance on how to discover purpose. Gautama Buddha taught that living in accordance with the Eightfold Path can lead us to true purpose and fulfillment. The Eightfold Path includes right understanding, developing a deep understanding of life's realities, including suffering, impermanence, and the nature of existence. Right intention, committing to ethical and wholesome intentions in all actions. Right speech, speaking truthfully, kindly, and wisely. Right action, acting in ways that promote harmony, kindness, and ethical conduct. Right livelihood, engaging in work that is ethical and aligns with one's values. Right effort, cultivating positive qualities and abandoning negative habits. Right mindfulness, being aware of our thoughts, emotions, and actions in the present moment without judgment. Right concentration, developing mental focus and clarity through meditation and mindfulness practices. By following these principles, we align our lives with our deepest values and aspirations, finding a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment. For example, someone might choose a career path that allows them to make a positive impact on others, bringing them deep satisfaction and purpose. Self-reflection is another essential practice in discovering purpose. Taking time daily to contemplate our goals, values, and what truly matters to us can provide clarity and guide us towards a more meaningful life. Keeping a journal, meditating, or simply engaging in quiet introspection can help us gain insights into our purpose and direction. Mindfulness also plays a crucial role in living a purposeful life. By staying present and fully engaged in our activities, whether at work or in daily tasks, we bring more meaning to everything we do. This presence allows us to appreciate the impact of our efforts and fosters a deeper connection with our actions. Furthermore, living a life of purpose often involves serving others by helping those in need or contributing to the well-being of our community. We not only create connections, but also find a profound sense of purpose and joy in our own lives. Volunteering at a local shelter, for instance, can bring immense satisfaction by knowing one is making a tangible difference in others' lives. Lesson 10. Cultivating joy and gratitude. Cultivating joy and gratitude is essential for enhancing our quality of life and overall well-being. Joy arises from appreciating the good in our lives, while gratitude involves recognizing and being thankful for these blessings. These attitudes can transform our everyday experiences, turning ordinary moments into sources of happiness. Imagine someone who starts each day by listing things they are grateful for. This simple practice sets a positive tone for the day, shifting focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. By acknowledging the good, whether it's the warmth of the sun, a friend's kindness, or a successful project at work, we cultivate a mindset of abundance and joy. Buddhism teaches that joy and gratitude are not just responses to external circumstances. They are attitudes we can develop independently of our situations. This is where mindfulness becomes invaluable. By being fully present and attentive to the current moment, we can find joy in simple pleasures and maintain a grateful heart even in challenging times. For example, during a mindful walk, one might notice the intricate details of a leaf, the softness of the breeze, or the playful chirping of birds. These observations can elicit feelings of joy and gratitude for the beauty of nature and the miracle of life itself. Moreover, practicing gratitude can strengthen our relationships. When we express appreciation for others, it not only boosts their morale but also deepens our connections, creating more meaningful interactions. This mutual appreciation builds a supportive and joyful community. To cultivate joy and gratitude, consider engaging in daily practices such as keeping a gratitude journal, performing acts of kindness, and taking time to reflect on the positive aspects of your day. Meditation can also be a powerful tool as it helps calm the mind and brings our focus to the present, where gratitude and joy naturally reside. In conclusion, by actively cultivating joy and gratitude through mindfulness, reflection, and appreciation, we can enhance our life satisfaction and contribute to a more positive and supportive environment around us.
Introduction to the power of silence. Silence can often be overshadowed by the noise of our thoughts, words, and actions. We find ourselves constantly talking, texting, or posting on social media, filling our lives with endless chatter. However, the wisdom of Buddhism reminds us that there are times when silence is not just golden, but also profoundly transformative. It teaches us to recognize the power of silence and to use it wisely, especially in 5 crucial situations. This journey through the spiritual teaching of Buddhism will take us on a voyage to understand the significance of always being silent in 5 situations. These teachings offer profound insights that can inspire us to lead a more mindful, harmonious, and purposeful life. Let's explore these ancient pearls of wisdom, embracing the serenity of silence and finding solutions to our life problems. Number 1, the power of silence. Silence is not merely the absence of noise, it's a profound state of being. In the words of the great Vietnamese Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, silence is essential. We need silence just as much as we need light. If our minds are crowded with words and thoughts, we have no space. Buddhism recognizes this space and encourages its cultivation in various aspects of life. Silence is a gateway to inner peace, mindfulness, and self-awareness. It offers us the opportunity to listen not only to the world outside, but, more importantly, to the whispers of our hearts and minds. It's a powerful tool that can transform the way we interact with the world and navigate life's challenges. As we embark on this journey through the 5 situations where silence is recommended in Buddhism, let us keep in mind that silence is not about being passive or indifferent. It's about being present, attuned, and intentional. Let us explore these situations, understand their significance, and embrace silence as a source of empowerment. Number 2. Silence in anger. In the face of anger, always be silent. When you are angry, always be silent. These words hold profound wisdom, for anger is a powerful and often destructive emotion. When we are angry, our words and actions are fueled by this intense emotion, and they can lead to unintended consequences. Buddhism teaches us that anger arises from attachment, aversion, and ignorance. When we become attached to our desires or averse to a particular situation, anger can take hold of us. In such moments, silence is a potent antidote. Silence gives us the space to pause and reflect on the source of our anger. It allows us to step back and observe our emotional reactions without immediate judgment or expression. Through silence, we can engage in mindful breathing and self-inquiry, gaining insight into the root causes of our anger. Furthermore, silence is a shield against the harsh words and actions that often accompany anger. It prevents us from causing harm to others and ourselves. In the silence of restraint, we can protect our relationships and create an atmosphere of calm and understanding. In the Buddhist tradition, there is a story of the 2 arrows. The first arrow represents the initial pain or suffering we experience when something distressing happens to us. The second arrow symbolizes the suffering we inflict on ourselves through our reaction to the first arrow. By practicing silence in the face of anger, we can avoid shooting that second arrow and reduce unnecessary suffering. Let's delve deeper into the wisdom of silence in the face of anger. To truly understand this teaching, it's important to explore the nature of anger itself and why Buddhism emphasizes silence as the appropriate response. Anger in Buddhism is often seen as a manifestation of our attachments and aversions. When we desire something intensely or are averse to a particular situation, anger can emerge as a response to the perceived threat to our desires. The attachment to our desires blinds us to the interconnectedness of all things and the impermanence of the world. In the face of anger, silence becomes a sanctuary of self-awareness and reflection. When we're angry, our minds are clouded with emotions, and our thoughts are often irrational and impulsive. In this state, our words and actions can lead to regret and harm, both to ourselves and others. Silence allows us to step back from the immediate intensity of our anger. It provides a buffer between our emotions and our reactions. Instead of lashing out in the heat of the moment, we can take a breath, give ourselves a moment of stillness, and observe the anger without judgment. This practice is rooted in mindfulness and self-awareness, key components of the Eightfold Path. In silence, we can ask ourselves essential questions. Why am I angry? What am I attached to in this situation? What aversion is triggering this anger? These inquiries can lead to profound insights into the root causes of our anger. We may discover that our attachments are unrealistic, that our aversions are based on misunderstandings, or that our expectations are causing our suffering. Moreover, silence serves as a shield that protects us from the consequences of our impulsive words and actions. In moments of anger, we might say hurtful things or make regrettable decisions. By choosing silence, we prevent ourselves from causing harm to others and maintain the integrity of our relationships. The story of the two arrows illustrates this point beautifully. The first arrow represents the initial pain or suffering we experience when something distressing happens to us. This is a part of life and it's unavoidable. However, the second arrow symbolizes the suffering we inflict on ourselves through our reaction to the first arrow. By responding to the first arrow with anger, we shoot the second arrow, causing unnecessary suffering. Through the practice of silence in the face of anger, we can learn to deal with the first arrow more skillfully. We acknowledge the pain, but we don't compound it with our anger and reactivity. This not only reduces our suffering, but also prevents us from causing harm to others, fostering a more compassionate and harmonious environment. Silence in the face of anger is a call to mindfulness, self-inquiry, and restraint. It empowers us to transform anger into understanding and compassion. By embracing this teaching, we can gradually cultivate emotional resilience and wisdom. The practice of silence in the face of anger is not about suppressing our emotions or denying their existence. Instead, it's an invitation to engage with our emotions more constructively and mindfully. When we remain silent, we create a space for self-reflection and self-compassion. We acknowledge our anger without judgment and observe it with curiosity. This simple act of paying attention to our emotions can be transformative. In addition to self-awareness, silence also allows us to listen more attentively to others. When we're angry, our focus is often solely on our feelings and perspectives. We may be so wrapped up in our emotions that we fail to hear what the other person is saying or to empathize with their point of view. By choosing silence, we can open our hearts and minds to a deeper understanding of the situation and the people involved. The power of silence in the face of anger lies in its ability to break the cycle of reactivity. When we respond with anger to a situation, we often trigger a chain reaction of negative emotions and actions. Our anger may provoke defensiveness or counter-anger in others, leading to a destructive cycle of conflict. Silence interrupts this pattern and offers an opportunity for a more peaceful and constructive resolution. Ultimately, the practice of silence in the face of anger leads to greater emotional balance and equanimity. It empowers us to let go of grudges and resentments, making room for forgiveness and understanding. By cultivating this practice, we move closer to the ideal of being free from the suffering caused by anger, which is one of the central aims of Buddhism. Silence in gossip and slander. Silence in the face of gossip and slander. Always be silent when you hear gossip and slander. This teaching underscores the importance of mindful speech and the consequences of engaging in harmful communication. Gossip and slander are like poisoned arrows that can harm not only the person being spoken about, but also the one who speaks. In Buddhism, right speech is a fundamental ethical guideline, emphasizing the importance of speaking truthfully, kindly, and beneficially. Gossip and slander violate these principles and can create disharmony and suffering. Choosing silence in the face of such talk aligns with the principles of right speech and promotes a more compassionate and harmonious society. Gossip and slander often stem from negative emotions like jealousy, resentment, or a desire to harm someone's reputation. Engaging in such speech not only perpetuates negative emotions within ourselves, but also spreads negativity to others. It can damage relationships, trust, and community bonds. Silence in these situations serves multiple purposes. Firstly, it prevents us from participating in harmful speech. By choosing not to engage in gossip or slander, we avoid the moral and karmic consequences of speaking untruths or causing harm to others. Secondly, silence provides an opportunity to reflect on the intention behind the gossip or slander. Are we engaging in this behavior out of envy, anger, or fear? Such self-reflection can be a catalyst for personal growth and transformation. Additionally, choosing silence can encourage those engaging in gossip to rethink their words. When we refuse to participate in or listen to such conversations, it sends a signal that we do not condone such behavior. This non-participation may inspire others to reconsider the impact of their words and may even discourage them from continuing with their negative speech. Gossip and slander are widespread in our society, and their detrimental mental effects are well documented. In Buddhism, these behaviors are seen as violations of the right to speech, one of the components of the Eightfold Path. Right speech is about using our words mindfully and ethically, promoting honesty, kindness, and beneficial communication. The prohibition against gossip and slander is rooted in the understanding of the power of words. Words can shape our reality, influence our emotions, and impact the lives of others. When we engage in gossip or slander, we often do so out of negative emotions such as envy, resentment, or anger. These emotions can cloud our judgment and lead us to speak untruths or exaggerate the faults of others. The harm caused by gossip and slander is twofold. Firstly, it harms the person being spoken about. False or unkind words can damage their reputation, lead to emotional distress, and strain relationships. Secondly, it harms the person speaking. Engaging in negative speech can create negative karmic consequences, leading to suffering in the future. Moreover, it perpetuates negative emotions within the speaker, contributing to their suffering. Choosing silence in the face of gossip and slander is a powerful way to break the cycle of negativity. It is an act of non-participation, a refusal to contribute to the spread of harmful words. This not only aligns with the principles of right speech, but also protects our own karma and emotional well-being. Silence offers us a moment of pause, a chance to reflect on our intentions. When we encounter gossip or slander, we can ask ourselves why we are drawn to engage in such talk. Are we doing it out of envy, to feel superior, or to harm someone? This self-inquiry can be transformative as it brings awareness to our own negative emotions and the suffering they cause. Furthermore, choosing silence can send a powerful message to others. When we refuse to participate in harmful speech, it conveys our disapproval of such behavior. Our silence can inspire others to think twice about the impact of their words and may even discourage them from continuing with their negative speech. In a broader sense, silence in the face of gossip and slander promotes a culture of kindness, respect, and empathy. It encourages us to look beyond the faults and shortcomings of others and focus on their positive qualities. It fosters understanding and compassion, contributing to the creation of a more harmonious and caring community. The practice of silence in the face of gossip and slander is an embodiment of the Buddhist ideals of right speech and compassion. It empowers us to use our words more mindfully, protect our well-being, and contribute to a more positive and harmonious society. Silence during conflict. Silence during conflict. Always be silent during conflicts. Conflict is an inevitable part of human interactions, but the way we approach it can significantly impact its outcome. Buddhism encourages us to choose silence as a response to conflict, emphasizing the role of mindfulness, compassion, and understanding in conflict resolution. Conflicts often arise from differences in opinions, values, or interests. They can lead to heated arguments, hurtful words, and emotional distress. In such moments, silence can act as a cooling balm, allowing us to step back, reflect, and respond with wisdom and compassion. Silence amid conflict is not about avoiding or suppressing our feelings. It's about creating a space for active listening, empathy, and finding common ground. By choosing silence, we allow ourselves and others to express themselves without fear of judgment or escalation. Moreover, silence allows us to disengage from the cycle of reactivity. When we respond to conflict with anger or defensiveness, we often escalate the situation, making it more challenging to resolve. Silence breaks this cycle, providing a pause for reflection and a mindful response. Conflict is an integral part of human relationships and interactions. Whether it's a disagreement with a family member, a clash with a colleague, or a dispute with a friend, conflict is a common experience. How we approach and navigate conflicts can have a significant impact on our relationships and personal well-being. In Buddhism, silence is recommended during conflicts for its potential to bring about a more mindful and compassionate resolution. Let's delve deeper into the wisdom of silence amid conflict. Conflict often arises from differences in opinions, values, or interests. When these differences escalate into arguments, disputes, or even physical confrontations, they can lead to emotional distress, harm to relationships, and negative consequences for all involved parties. Buddhism recognizes that conflicts can be particularly challenging as they stir strong emotions and cloud our judgment. Silence during conflict does not mean avoidance or suppression of our feelings. Instead, it's an intentional choice to create a space for active listening, empathy, and understanding. It is a pause that allows both parties to express themselves without the fear of immediate judgment or escalation. In this space, we can acknowledge our own emotions and reactions as well as those of the other party. Silence in conflict serves as a powerful tool for active listening, a skill that is often overlooked but vital for effective communication. When we are silent, we can fully focus on what the other person is saying. We can hear their words, understand their perspective, and empathize with their feelings. This compassionate listening can de-escalate the situation and pave the way for a more constructive dialogue. Moreover, silence offers an opportunity for self-reflection. In the heat of conflict, we may become swept up in our emotions, making it difficult to see the bigger picture or consider the long-term consequences of our actions. By choosing silence, we grant ourselves a moment to reflect on the root causes of the conflict, our role in it, and potential solutions. Another aspect of silence in conflict resolution is the prevention of further escalation. When we respond to conflict with anger, defensiveness, or counterattacks, we often perpetuate the cycle of negativity. This can make it increasingly difficult to find common ground or reach a resolution. Silence intervenes in this cycle, offering a pause that encourages a more measured and considerate response. In the practice of silence during conflict, we are encouraged to set aside our own need to be right or to win the argument. Instead, we prioritize the well-being of the relationship and the broader goals of mutual understanding and resolution. This reflects the Buddhist principle of non-attachment, which suggests that our clinging to ego-driven desires can lead to suffering and hinder our path to enlightenment. The power of silence in conflict resolution is evident in its ability to foster empathy, compassion, and compromise. It encourages us to look beyond our immediate emotions and consider the feelings and needs of the other person. By doing so, we create an atmosphere in which both parties can express themselves, find common ground, and work together toward a solution. Silence in witnessing suffering. Silence in times of suffering. Always be silent when you witness the suffering of others. Compassion lies at the heart of Buddhism, and this teaching emphasizes the power of silence as a means to express compassion and offer solace to those who are suffering. When we encounter the suffering of others, our immediate response may be to offer words of comfort or advice. However, Buddhism suggests that in many cases, silence is more profound and compassionate. Silence communicates our presence, our empathy, and our willingness to listen without judgment. Suffering is an inherent part of human existence, and it can manifest in various forms, including physical pain, emotional distress, or the challenges of daily life. Witnessing the suffering of others is a common experience in our interconnected world. Whether it's a friend going through a difficult breakup, a family member facing a health crisis, or a stranger experiencing hardship, we are frequently confronted with the pain and challenges of others. In such moments, our natural inclination is to offer words of comfort or advice to try to alleviate the suffering we perceive. Buddhism suggests that in many cases, silence is a more profound and compassionate response. This teaching aligns with the principle of right speech, emphasizing the importance of speaking kindly and beneficially in the face of another person's suffering. Silence can be the kind and most beneficial choice. Silence in times of suffering communicates our presence and empathy. It conveys the message that we are there to support and listen to the person who is suffering. Words, even well-intentioned ones, can sometimes fall short of expressing the depth of our compassion. In contrast, silence creates a space for the suffering individual to share their emotions, thoughts, and experiences in their way and time. It offers a refuge where they can be heard without judgment. In this space of silence, individuals often find solace and support. Silence demonstrates our respect for the individual's autonomy and capacity to navigate their suffering. It recognizes that not all suffering can be alleviated through words or advice. Sometimes the most significant gift we can offer is our presence and our ability to listen deeply. Silence in times of suffering is deeply rooted in the Buddhist principle of compassion. Compassion is not merely feeling sympathy for others, it is the active desire to alleviate their suffering. In silence, we offer a different form of compassionate presence. We are there to bear witness to the suffering, offering to share in it, and to provide a safe and non-judgmental space for the person in need. It's essential to note that silence is not always the answer, and there may be moments when words of comfort or support are appropriate. However, Buddhism encourages us to consider silence as a valid and valuable response to the suffering of others. It reminds us that sometimes the most significant gift we can give is our quiet presence, our empathetic listening, and our willingness to share in the pain of others. Silence in personal suffering. In times of our suffering, always be silent. When you are suffering, this teaching acknowledges the importance of self-compassion and self-care during difficult times. It encourages us to turn inward and embrace the healing power of silence in our lives. We all encounter moments of pain, distress, and suffering, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a personal crisis, or a period of emotional turmoil. Suffering is an inescapable part of the human experience. During these times, our natural response may be to seek solace and support from others. However, Buddhism reminds us that there are moments when silence, particularly in our suffering, can be profoundly healing. Silence in times of our suffering offers us a sanctuary for introspection and self-compassion. It provides a space where we can acknowledge our pain without judgment, offering ourselves the same kindness and empathy we might extend to others. In this silence, we can process our emotions, thoughts, and experiences, allowing for healing and growth. Moreover, silence serves as a refuge from the pressure to put on a brave face or to articulate our pain to others. While sharing our suffering with trusted friends or professionals can be essential, there are times when the depths of our pain are beyond words. Silence allows us to be with our suffering without the need to explain, justify, or make sense of it for others. This experience can be liberating as it grants us the freedom to simply be with our pain, to sit in its presence, and to accept it as a part of our current reality. In silence, we can also connect with our inner strength and wisdom. Buddhism teaches that suffering is a part of life and that it can be a source of growth and insight. In the quiet of our hearts and minds, we may discover profound truths about ourselves and the nature of suffering. We can explore the impermanence of all things, recognizing that suffering, like all experiences, is transient. We can also come to understand the interconnectedness of life, realizing that our suffering is not isolated, but part of the human condition. This understanding can be a source of comfort and wisdom. Silence in times of suffering is a practice deeply rooted in self-compassion, self-care, and self-discovery. It allows us to honor our pain without judgment, to find refuge from the pressure to explain, and to connect with our inner strength and wisdom. By embracing this teaching, we create the conditions for healing and personal growth. Summary: the wisdom of Buddhism offers us a profound understanding of the transformative power of silence in 5 crucial situations: anger, gossip and slander, conflict, witnessing the suffering of others, and our suffering. In these moments, silence serves as a source of mindful compassion and personal growth. Silence is not about being passive or indifferent. It is an intentional choice to create space to listen, to reflect, and to respond with wisdom and empathy. It aligns with the principles of right speech, compassion, and non-attachment, as outlined in the Eightfold Path. By always being silent in these 5 situations, we empower ourselves to transform negative emotions, nurture compassion, and foster understanding. We protect our relationships, minimize harm, and contribute to a more harmonious and connected world. By learning to be present, to listen deeply, and to embrace the healing power of silence, we integrate these teachings into our daily existence. We embark on a journey of self-discovery and personal transformation, moving closer to the ideals of Buddhism, which seek to alleviate suffering, cultivate mindfulness, and awaken to the interconnectedness of all beings. In doing so, we not only find solutions to life's problems, but also uncover a path to inner peace and enlightenment. Silence is essential. We need silence just as much as we need air, just as much as plants need light. If our minds are crowded with words and thoughts, there is no space for us in the profound silence of these 5 situations. In the profound silence of these 5 situations, we discover the space we need to live more mindfully, more compassionately, and more authentically.